I still remember the day I saw a book for the first time in a bookshelf. It was my first day at work. I was working at a stationery store at the time, and the book was titled The Turning Point, wrote by Daniel Steele. I really connected with the title because that was my first job. Through that job, I was able to build my savings and I was able to start my first business. So things were really looking up for me. I remember saying to myself, one day I'm going to write a book and title it The Turning Point, because deep down I knew that things were about to change in my life. So as time went by, I got curious about reading because I was always surrounded with books at work and people coming in and out to buy books. But here's the thing, I didn't know which books to buy. Remember, I didn't know anything about books. I remember going into Play Store to download this book as a book app just to get an idea of it before I even spend my money on it. I won't tell you about the title of the book because I'll ruin the surprise. So I loved the book, went on and got myself a copy. Now I have to tell you the truth. Ever since then, things have never been the same for me. I have learned a lot, and books have become a huge part of my life. For me, books always serves as a reminder that I don't know anything, because as I read each book, I always come across new ideas or information that I never knew. And again, I always say this, books for me will form part of my inheritance to my kids. Share with them information I only knew at 23, hoping they get it early. Now you know my background story with books. Let's talk about the mission of the day. Today I want to share with you 5 books that have really changed my life in the last 3 years of reading. Now I have to say, coming up with these 5 books was one of the hardest things because I have a lot of books that have really changed my life. I had to go through over the bookshelf, carefully double check and make sure that I pick the right books, go through the lessons, go through book reviews, just to make sure that I pick the books that have really changed my life. So without wasting any more time, let's go over the bookshelf. So on number 5, I have The Leader Who Had No Title by Vobensham. This is one of my favorite books on leadership. This is actually the first book that I read on leadership. What I love about this book is it redefines what leadership is. In most cases, when we think about leadership, we always think of someone in a certain position. We always think of someone with a certain title. But what he says in this book is you don't need a title to be a leader, but you need to be of service. You need to be good at what you do, whatever it is, whether you are a student, whether you are a street sweeper, whether you are an employee to a certain organization. You have a responsibility to take the role of leadership. Lead where you are planted. So that's the key takeaways from this book. As someone who never saw himself as a leader, who never saw himself as someone who can lead people, I have understood that I don't need to be in a certain position. I don't need to have a certain title to take the role of leadership. I can just be good and do good where I am, to be of service to the people, to the organization, to whatever it is that I do. That's what leadership is all about. Now, the 4th book on the list is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now, if you are someone who is starting out as an entrepreneur, who just started a business or his business, if you've just started an organization, whatever it is that has to do with engaging or dealing with people, I think this has to be the book that you read, because it will help you deal with conflict, bring the right people in your team, and also learn how to persuade and communicate your ideas with people. There's a quote that he shares in this book that I think this book is centered around, which is be interested in other people. You can win more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people to be interested in you. I think in most cases it's easier to make things about ourselves, and that's how in most cases we lose people. But if you can just be interested in other people, ask the right questions, listen, pay attention, and make it about them, I think only then you will be able to bring more people, bring the right people, whether you want funding, whether you want to bring the right people into your team, whether you want to communicate your ideas. I think that's the easiest way to bring people on board, by being interested in them. There's other ideas that he shares in this book that I've really applied in my own life, and I've seen a lot of improvement in terms of how I engage with people and my communication skills, which is give honest, sincere appreciation. Appreciate people. People love being appreciated. Say someone looks beautiful. If they are, tell them. If they have nailed presentation, whatever it is, just give a sincere appreciation, because in most cases I feel like a lot of people know how good a certain person is, but they will never tell them. Be that kind of person. Tell them exactly where they're doing well. I think by just doing that, it will give them even more confidence about themselves, and it will give them this idea that you are someone who pay attention, you are someone who is worth it to be around, which in turn I think you will have more people who are willing to do anything for you, because you are someone who appreciates, you are someone who is able to say thank you, you are someone who is able to speak it out when you see a good thing. Now the last tip is to give people a reputation to live up to. People love that. One thing that I've noticed about human beings is we love being known for something, especially good things. Just imagine if I told you that you smell nice or you always dress nice. What is the one thing that will come into your mind tomorrow when you're about to put on your lotion or your dress? How can I get better, right? Like, because you love being complimented, you love the response when you dress nice, when you smell nice. Recognize the good in each person and use that to build some good reputation for them that they will in most cases try to protect, because that's what they love being known for. And by just doing that, I feel like it becomes much easier to criticize them positively. Now you can say, Blessing, you always smell nice. What happened today? This is not like you. You have to improve. You have to get better. You have to be the way you. You see, now you get them to think that it was always nice. Compliment. It was always nice being known as someone who smells nice. It was always nice being known as someone who gets things done. So that's how you get them to improve. So on number 3 we have The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Now this is one of the best selling books in the world. This book alone has sold over 65 million copies worldwide. That tells you how good it is. Now, what I love the most about this book is it is part fiction and also part personal development. As someone who have never read any fiction before, I have found it so captivating. I was so curious throughout my reading, trying to figure it out how it is going to unfold. Now, the story of this book is about a young boy, Lo Akala, as a shepherd because he wants to travel the world. Now, along his journey, he get this dream about this hidden treasure, I think Egypt. As he tried to seek out this treasure, he gets to be faced with a lot of challenges along his journey. But what fascinates me throughout this character story is the people that gets to help him, strangers, people he never met before. This tells me that as you have a dream, it is not your responsibility how that dream is going to be achieved. Your responsibility to take action. That's all you have to take. This young boy has nothing. He's just a shepherd. He didn't have any resources. He didn't have any money. He didn't have anything. But despite everything, he has achieved his dream. He has achieved what they call in this story personal legend. his destiny. Another idea that I have picked up from just reading this book is understanding that we are one with the universe. I once had this quote which says, people don't have ideas, but ideas have people. Somehow to me this means the universe is trying to experience its own ideas, its own purpose in each and every one of us. So you shouldn't worry about how this dream is going to manifest, how you are going to get the resources to achieve whatever dream or idea you have, but just focus on just starting. Now on number 2 we have The Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Now this is a book that has been read by a lot of people. I have shared this book among my friends. If you haven't read this book, please make sure to check it out. I have links in the description below of all the books that I've spoken about. The idea of this book is centered around how rich people think about money and how poor people think about money. The different mindsets both people have towards money. These ones see money as something that is scarce in the world, and this one see money as something that is abundant in the world. This one believes that for you to be rich, you have to get educated, get a job, and this one believes that you have to be educated and start your own business, start your journey in the entrepreneurship space. Now what I love the most about this book is you don't have to have any accounting background to understand what this book actually speaks about. I feel like he has found a way to generalize almost everything that he teaches in this book. I don't agree with everything that he teaches in this book, just like the idea that a house is not an asset. Maybe it's an idea that I'll understand when I have my own house, but there's a lot of great insights that he shared in this book about financial literacy. An idea that stood out with me to this day is that rich people don't work for money, but they have their money working for them. Even though I do, but I'm always mindful where I want to see myself. I want to reach a point where I don't have to work for money, which means having enough assets that they pay me enough to do what I love. They pay me enough to go to work, where I don't trade my time for money. So I always see where I work for money as a phase that if I work hard and allocate enough money to assets, I think I can pass at some point. So if you are someone who is just starting out on a job, if you started your side hustle, if you started your business, I think this has to be the book that you read, because it will teach you where to allocate your money, how to change your perspective on how you look at money, how you use your money on a daily basis. Now, on number 1, we have, did you guess it? It's the 5 AM Club by Robin Sharma. Own your morning, elevate your life. So the idea of this book is how you start your day sets up how that day will unfold. If you start your day the right way, you're most likely to end it the right way. So what it suggests in this book is start your day at 5 AM with exercise, meditate, read a book, write on your journal. I don't think it's important. Yes, it's very important that you start your day as early as possible, but if it happens, maybe you work at night or something, I think the most important thing is to be intentional. On the first hours of your day, just don't pay attention to your phone. I know these were like one of the hardest things to do. I am like guilty of that, but just try to focus on the things that sets you up for productivity, sets you up for a great day. One takeaway from this book for me is to focus on the few things that really matters. Start with clarity. With each day, start with the things that really matters to you. So for me, it's always like my health, my spirituality, my growth. So those are the areas that I think anyone can start with by exercising, your meditation, write your goals for the day, the person you want to be, what you want to stand for in the world, how you want to show up today, I think if you can focus on that, what happens after that, I think doesn't really matters, because somehow you have finished your day before it even started. So that's how you can win your day before you even start in the complexity of the day, the noise. Just set aside a few hours with yourself, read a great book, listen to a great podcast, meditate, connect with yourself, and just enjoy some time with yourself away from all these distractions. Just, you'll thank me later. So if you have watched until now, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Please make sure that if you are new to this channel, subscribe, like, turn on that notification button so that next time when I upload a new content, you don't miss anything. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will see you next time with some new content. Please remember to check the books in the description below. If there's a book that you haven't read before, please make sure to check it out in the description below. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.